Alright, what's up guys? Poison here. Now today we're doing Team Fortress Tuesday, which normally Team Fortress Tuesday is going to be something I'm going to do every Tuesday, you know. That's why it's called Team Fortress Tuesday, same day the club goes up. No, I was kidding. But yeah, so Team Fortress Tuesday is supposed to be a Q&A session, basically where you'll leave a bunch of questions on this video, and next week I'll answer the questions. Now, if you want a rapid response to one of your questions, don't leave a question here because I won't answer it till next week. But if you do want a question here, you know, if you have a question that you could wait a week for an answer, leave it here. If not, leave it on our video. But Team Fortress Tuesday is also going to be where I talk about a discussion I want to talk about. So today I want to talk about vaping. So this video is going to be about vaping, clones versus authentics. And, you know, there's a whole debate going on in the vape community. Oh, clones are better than authentics. Authentics are better than clones. Blah, 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 blah. Each has their own upsides. Now, and each has their own niche market. So, if you don't know, it's basically what it sounds like. An authentic is something made by the original creator, but a clone is made by another company at basically half the price. Now, there's a bunch of discussion going on, which is better, why you shouldn't buy clones, because, you know, it's stealing. True, clones are stealing from the original creator, but there's also some upsides, you know. Let's see, how do we start? Like, I don't want to pay $150 for a tube that just holds a battery when I could buy a clone for $20 that does the same job just as good, sometimes even better. There have been some clones that have been better than authentics, like my Cthulhu V1 clone. Some people say a clone of the Cthulhu works a lot better than the authentic. I can't say for certain, you know, I'm not 100% sure. Mine works for me, it works really good, but I've never played with an authentic, so I can't really give you, you know, whether one's better than the other. But there are some companies, such as, I don't want to drop any names for the company, but I'll drop names of the devices, like the Big Dripper V1. Originally, an authentic Big Dripper V1 costs $180 when it first came out, but I bought a clone for $12. Now, was the clone worth it? No, not at all. The clone is really bad. So, you know, not every clone works as good as an authentic, because this clone, it drops, the ohms change. It's not always a 0.5 ohm. I've gone from like a 0.2 ohm all the way up to like a 3.4 ohm down to a 0.5 ohm, you know. So if you're not a vapor, this video is not going to make any sense to you. But if you are a vapor, then, you know, you're going to understand what I'm saying. But the clones have a market. Now, the market for clones is more for people who not necessarily want to get into vaping, but for people who can't afford to vape at a price of like a real mod. Like tugboats cost $150, like I said earlier, but you can find a clone for about $20 to $30, you know, that works just as good. Sometimes better, sometimes worse, depends on who the creator of the clone is. Now, the reason I thought about this topic was because the new Dogue V3 came out, and I own a Dogue V1 authentic and a clone Dogue V2. And, you know, we're going to talk about this. So I bought my Dogue V2 at my local smoke shop. It's not a vaping shop, it's actually a smoke shop. But the thing that annoyed me is that they made me pay full price for a clone, because the original Dogue V2 is made by Conger Vape. Yet when I got it, it was in a Tobacco box. So, you know, it's like, really, you charge me full price for a clone? You know, this clone should cost $23 when I bought it, but they charged me $65. So I was extremely ripped off. I felt very, you know, I was salty. I was mad. Like, I shouldn't be charged full price for a clone, but whatever. But yeah, the clones I wouldn't say are for new vapors. Definitely, if you're a new vapor, maybe you should spend extra money and buy an authentic, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're a new vapor, you're gonna want to be safe. And if you don't know what you're doing at all and you buy a clone that might mishap if you don't use it properly, then definitely go with, you know, an authentic. But if you are a vapor, you know what you're doing, but you're on a budget, like, let's take it back to last year. Last year I was in school, high school actually, and I was 18, I was allowed to vape, so I didn't have money. I didn't have a job, I didn't have money. I couldn't pay for an authentic, so clone was the option for me. And even now at the moment, I still don't have that much money, so, you know, the mods that I want, they do have clones, but mods are starting to become more cheaper. You could purchase authentics now pretty cheap. Let me see, what's one authentic that I want to get is the Noisy Cricket by Jabo and Wismec. Now, Noisy Cricket costs about like $30 to $50, depending what store you buy it on. Authentic. There are clones that are like $10 less, but Authentics are becoming really cheap. Like I was saying, you know, Big Dripper, like the Big Dripper would be a case where I would say a clone would be better than an authentic, because I see no point in paying $180, almost $200, bare minimum maybe $150 for something when I could find a clone a lot cheaper that does the same work. But then again, the Big Dripper is a bad example, because Big Dripper clones drop ohms, get raised ohms. It's not 100% set. The ohms on Big Dripper are not good, honestly. But like in tube, like a tugboat version, like my Stingray, I used to have a Stingray clone. I paid $50 for a Stingray with a tugboat RDA. Both clones came with a clone VTC5. You know, I paid $50. The only bad thing about it was the charger. The charger that came with it was horrible. I left the battery charging all night and I got nothing. But you know, the chargers are pretty cheap. I don't know why you would use one of those chargers. Go out and buy yourself, you know, an actual charger like a Nitecore D2 or D3 for $20. That's how I paid mine for like $25 at Paradox, another shop local. But yeah, I would say a clone market is more for like someone who knows what they're doing in vaping, but doesn't have the money to actually like be able to afford a $200 tube, where their only alternative is like a $30 tube of the same one. Because when it comes to mods itself, you know, mostly every clone mod I've used works just as good as an authentic. I had a clone DNA 50 that worked great. I have a clone Anarchist mod V1. It works amazingly. But I also have an authentic Sigelei 150 Oni and a Hell's Gate, and those work good. But those aren't really cloned. Like the Hell's Gate is cloned, and I don't know how it works. But you know, I haven't seen any Sigelei clones, so you know. And Sigelei is pretty cheap too. I bought my Oni edition last year for around $100. You could pick them up for like maybe, yeah, you could. Well, I bought mine on sale from $130 down to $100. You could probably buy it for like $80 to $100 now. Actually, let's see. We're gonna do some Google Foo, as Grim Green says. Let's see. Sigelei 150 Oni. So let's see. Are we still recording here? We still are recording audio. Okay, sorry. I'm trying a post commentary on this video. I didn't want to do it live. So we're at Element Vape. A Sigelei 150 watt Oni, $130 down to $100. It's out of stock right now, but they do have them. Or that's what a price is. Let's just go to one more link just to be sure. Come on, I can go to a new link. Asmodus sells it for $105. Vaping Cheap sells it for $100. 101 Vape is selling it for, let's see. 101 Vape is selling it. This product has been retired. Oh, so okay. Apparently the 150 watt Oni Vapor Range. Let's see, is there a price? Vapor Range is selling it for list price $100. They're selling for $75, and it comes in just red, so like mine. But basically, I see a lot of discussion. People are saying clones really shouldn't be around. I feel that they are stealing, but then again, mostly everything coming out of like vaping is coming out of China, where there is no law against copyright. There is no copyright laws in China. Like you could steal a design and then pass it off, not as a clone because people will know, but you could pass it off at a cheap price compared to like the original price. But yeah, once again, clones I feel are more for like not necessarily teenagers. Don't think that I'm condoning teenage vaping. If you are of the age where you could vape, then I would say clones are for you. You could afford them easily, you know. Working like a cheap little, like cutting yards, for example. I should know, last year I was cutting yards. I still occasionally do when someone asks me to, but it's not like my main thing. But, you know, cutting yards, I was able to afford my mods, my juice, whatever. But, yeah, clones, basically I'm going to say it right here. Clones are for someone who can't afford the real thing. Sure, there have been some bad clones. What's a bad clone I could think of? I can't think of a bad clone right now. There have been some bad clones that, you know, blow up and stuff. Like, Cherry Bombers have problems where they could blow up, but, like, even Authentics have the same problem. Let's see, what's another mod? Like, I can't think of a mod right now, but yes. Clones versus Authentics. I feel clones are okay. I don't condone the stealing of a product, you know, but, you know, with the prices things were a year ago, clones were the only option if you wanted a good mod. But I just don't feel people should have as much hatred towards clones. Sorry, I had to burp. I understand why Vaping with Twisted 420 hates clones, because a Chinese company ripped them off and they stole his design. But that's understandable. I would understand why he's upset. But like, you know, just random people putting down vapors for using clones, it shouldn't be around, guys. Come on. If someone's vaping to get off cigarettes, I don't care if you're on a clone. I don't care, really. If you vape, I really don't care if you're clone, authentic. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you're not smoking cigarettes, that's good. I went to a car show earlier this year. No, late last year in like November. And this girl, I'm not sure if she was vaping on an authentic or a clone, but she had a tugboat mod, the original, not the 200 watt DNA 200, but an original, just unregulated tugboat mod. And she had a square tugboat dripper, or RDA, and I wanted to ask her clone or authentic, but I didn't. I just told her nice tugboat mod, because I really did enjoy it. It was the green zombie splatter one, where it's a green box with red blood on it. I'm like, hey, that's a cool mod. She's like, thank you. I would have felt really rude if I would have asked, you know, clone or authentic. But turns out that Flawless actually sells square drip, or square tops for the tugboat. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't authentic. Even if it wasn't, I don't care. The only problem I have with clones is when I'm charged full price for a clone, and they're trying to pass it off as an authentic. Like, really, even though it happened a year ago, I'm still upset I paid $65 for a Doge V2 just to have it be a clone. I'm like, you know, passing off as authentic. I'm like, that's not right. Especially as soon as I saw a tobacco box, I was like, oh, great, it's one of these. You know, I tried returning it, but I'm just like, whatever. I already paid the money. They won't give me a refund. They just said if I want to switch it out, I'm like, nah, whatever. I'll just stick with it. And, you know, it works good, although I'm having some O-ring problems with it now, but that's to be expected with every dripper. Your O-rings are going to start messing up. They're going to be hard. But, like, once again, I keep repeating myself. Clones versus authentics, I see no problem with it. Especially if you're a smoker and you're trying to switch over to vaping, then I don't care. Vape on a clone all you want. You know, is there going to be safety concerns with it? Yes, but, you know, there's going to be safety concerns even with authentic. If you don't know what you're doing, go authentic. If you do know what you're doing and you're going to be safe, go with clones if you can't afford a full product. Once again, I wouldn't see myself paying $200 for a tube that holds a battery when I could pay like $50 for it. You know, even 50 is going a little high, but, you know, that's pretty normal. But definitely, new vapor, don't go with clone. Go with authentic. You know, once you understand what you're doing, you understand Ohm's law, battery safety, you understand all this stuff, then yeah, switch over to clone. And then, you know, save yourself some money. But I'm also not... I am condoning clones, but I'm not condoning stealing other people's, you know, ideas. Even though that's basically what cloning is. Cloning is basically stealing someone's idea and then passing it off cheaper. Which, I'm only condoning vaping if you really need to vape, but you can't afford a full product. Like, once again, but now in 2016, we're already getting amazing mods that are super cheap. We have the Vapor Flask 150, or Vapor Flask Classic 150 watt, which I plan on buying for about 120, I believe. Let me see, I have a bookmarked here. A Vapor Flask Classic costs about, let's see, where is it? Whoa, where did it go? Vapor Flask Classic on Vape Forward. Oh, gotta put in my birth date. Give me 1 second. 96, because now I'm 19. A Vapor Flask Classic on Vape Forward is going for 120, 150 watts, and it does temperature control. I don't need anything past 150 watts, so this is good for me. But yeah, you know, it has, does it have USB pass-through? No, you could upgrade it. Yeah, you could upgrade the Vapor Flask so it could do temperature control for stainless steel, temperature coefficient of resistance, you know. But $120 for a 150 watt device that does temperature control, that's nice. You know, Wizmec with the Noisy Cricket, another mod I'm going to buy. You know, authentic fully for like $30 to $50 depending what site. I'm going to buy mine off Select Vape, you know, for like around $130 and buy a Dot Mod dripper with it. All authentic, but which Dot Mod, you know, they sell a really expensive dripper. It's like $80, I believe, with like a $30 drip tip. I'm not 100% sure, don't hold me to it. But their product is really good. So them, I could understand, you know, putting out $80. If the dripper would be over $100, and I'd be like, whoa, you need to slow down a bit. I'm not going to buy it. But, you know, If you have the money, go ahead, buy authentic. It all comes down to personal choice. Do you have the money? Do you care? Can you just ignore when people say it's a clone? I have no problem with someone saying I'm vaping a clone because I really don't care. Once again, my clones I bought when I didn't have money. I have mostly all my RDAs are clones, except for my mutation and my Yeps. My Yep RDAs that came with my Hell's Gate, and that's about it. My Doge, and my Doge V1. My Doge V2 is a clone. My Plume Veil is a clone. Big Dripper, Cthulhu, all clones. The only one I truly have a problem with is the Big Dripper because it changes its ohms a lot, and the what's that mod? And my RDA. My Plume Veil, the screws on it are extremely bad. Not sure if that happens on the Authentic too, but you know, it's whatever. When you have wire in it, it's good, but you have to use like 24 gauge or else the wire doesn't stay in. Only problem I have with it, other than that, it's a good vape, it's a good mod, or a good little RDA. But yeah, clones versus authentics. Clones are more suited for someone who knows what they're doing, who can take the proper safety, who can't afford an actual mod. But if you're new to vaping, definitely go authentic. Sure, it's gonna be more pricey, but once you have a mod, it could last you a good while, honestly. Like my SIG 150, it's been good for a year, and it's gonna be good for another year, possibly. You know, once it breaks, I'll upgrade, or I'll probably buy my Vapor Flask. But yeah, authentics will last you a while, clones will last you a while. Just, it all comes down to money and how good you are with battery safety and proper ohms law safety. If you're not good with ohm laws or battery safety, go authentic and ask a professional who knows what they're doing. If you do know what you're doing and you feel confident, you're like, yeah, I could do this, I could know what to do, then go clone. But once again, it comes down to money. I just keep repeating myself, jeez. It comes down to money and how good you are with your knowledge. So yeah, clones versus authentics, I say go with whatever you want. As long as you're not vaping, then it really doesn't matter what you're on. That's the basic point. So guys, thank you for watching Team Fortress Tuesday. Sorry if you didn't understand that. This was more for like vapors. If you like, next Tuesday I could talk about mods. Like, you know, I could show you guys some mods. I could show you proper safety on it. I could tell you what I know. But with Team Fortress Tuesday, if you ask me questions, I'll answer those first, then I'll move on to a topic. So guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with another Team Fortress Tuesday video. Don't forget to leave questions, and I'll answer them next week. Ask whatever you want. I will answer truthfully. So until next time, have an awesome day. Bye.